All right, welcome to this week's Travelin' Young. Maya's here with me. Later, you'll see Miranda, but right now we're standing in my office. Check it out. There's all my random bobblehead baseball things where I edit videos, random guitars on the wall. This is it. There's a cat on the ground. Here we are in my office, and you're going to kind of inadvertently get a house tour.
Yeah, it wasn't really the intention with the video, but you're going to get a little bit of it, a little taste.
And that's because this video, we're going to talk about 10 things that we find different in Danish homes, specifically this one, and homes that we've lived in the U.S. We thought that would be an interesting topic. 10 things different in Danish homes versus American homes on this week's Travelin' Young.
So we're outside our house at our mailbox, and you can see our mailbox looks like basically any other mailbox in either Denmark or the US, but the big difference is it has our names on it. So there's Josh's name, my name's there too, and that's really important because here in Denmark, if you don't have your name on your mailbox, sometimes the post people won't actually deliver your mail. They'll send it back because they can't prove that you live here. So that's a big difference from the U.S. because we're not required to do that in the U.S. It just goes by the house number. So the post people just deliver it to whoever lives in the house. They don't know who lives there. They just care about the house number. So that's a big difference. And behind me are all of our trash cans. So we've got paper and plastic. We have cardboard. We've got our regular trash, food trash. So this is all like the extras from when you're cooking and things. And then glass and metal. And finally our garden trash. So we've got a lot of trash cans. We do a lot of recycling, a lot of separating. And that's a big thing here in Denmark. Recycling's really big, so they make it as easy as possible. And all of these get picked up on different days. We just have to kind of note in a calendar what days they come. So that's a big difference from the US. All we had in the US was basically like mixed recyclables. So anything that was recyclable went into one container. They didn't make any separation. And then we just had trash. And that was it. And it was really, really hard to do any really big recycling. We did a video about Genbrug Station. We didn't really have those in the U.S. either. So yeah, there's lots more recycling done here in Denmark, and therefore lots more trash cans. Hey!
All right, so one of the weird things about bathrooms in Denmark is the light switches are outside the bathroom rather than inside the bathroom. I don't understand why. If somebody knows the reason for this, tell me in the comments, because I don't understand it at all. But it is kind of fun to mess with people while they're going to the bathroom.
All right, so another thing I want to talk about is unfinished floors. So this is like the entrance to our new house, but it is actually the only room in our current house that has unfinished floors. But our two old houses in Denmark had only unfinished floors in every room of the house. However, I don't think none of our houses back in the US had unfinished floors. They were all, had the glossy top. And I don't know if I've ever even been in a house in the US that had unfinished floors. So it's a very Danish or European thing. But yeah, it was something I definitely thought was a bit strange when I first came here.
All right, so you're kind of getting a little bit of a tour of the house here. We're now in Miranda's office and looking at another light switch. There's it's a very light switch heavy tour and description of things. And in this case, what's interesting is there's an outlet at the switch. It's smart because there's obviously power going to the switch, and it allows you to do things like plug in a vacuum cleaner or something that you just need temporarily plugged in, and you don't need to like get on the ground or move furniture to find an outlet to plug something in. This is not something that happens in the US. The light switches are just light switches. There's no outlets next to it at all. So this is pretty handy. I like this. Almost every light switch in the house has an outlet directly below it if you need power.
All right, now we are in the kitchen. And something that I really thought was interesting when I first moved to Denmark is I remember walking into the kitchen in our very first house and saying, "Where's the fridge? Where is it?" But we had a built-in fridge, and it's quite common in Danish homes to have built-in fridges in the wall. But that was something that was very weird to get used to, and I definitely opened the wrong cabinet a few times when we first moved into our house here.
All right, and now we're going to switch.
Yes.
Because I have one. I hope this sound, maybe stand over there.
So,
I hope the sound of the dishwasher isn't too loud in there. But also, this is a freezer. And as you can see, there's no mechanism for making ice cubes in this freezer at all. There's no thing to get. No, this isn't doing anything except
No
being in the fridge. No ice making facilities. Every refrigerator freezer I've ever had in America had the ability to make ice cubes. Even the cheapest one. We lived in this like super inexpensive, cheap, right out of college house in Tullahoma, Tennessee. I bought the cheapest refrigerator, which was also happened to be the most expensive one I could afford at the time. Even it had up at the top, quite common, the freezer at the top, a way to make ice cubes with water running into the freezer to do this. So I've always had free flowing ice cubes at any point I wanted in my life until I moved here. 5.5 years of no ice cubes. That's a massive, this has been a struggle to get used to. Maybe not now because it's winter, but in the summertime, oh, ice cubes, I love you so much.
This is one that I feel like you and I both miss.
Yes.
There's no bathtubs here. You can get a bathtub, but 90% of the homes, I would say, do not have a bathtub. You just have a standing shower.
Yeah,
and that's all you get.
We've never lived in a house that had a bathtub.
No. And I'm getting used to it.
I've been in houses with a bathtub.
Yeah.
Other people's houses,
Yeah.
not our houses. It's not really common.
No. Sometimes I miss it, but that's what hotels are for. They have bathtubs. And we thought we'd just do a quick special
Bonus.
honorable mention to the 2 buttons that you have on toilets. In the US, we just have a single flush. You flush a toilet and that's it. No more thought to it. Here you've got a light flush for light things and a heavier flush for heavier things. That's the best way to
I'm a
explain
frequent
it.
user of the heavy flush button. Just
So more water, it's a bit more forceful with the heavy flush. So, So whichever one you need, you can do.
Good for energy water saving.
Yes, exactly.
right? What do you think, buddy?
Ollie agrees.
Ollie agrees.
So I think I got a lot of Ollie's butt on that. We're trying to get her to do weird things over here.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Wait. All right, go for it.
Okay. So one thing that I really noticed when we moved to Denmark, and I think this is just the Scandinavian style really coming out, but every room is white. They're all white. In every house we've lived in, all the rooms are just white. And I thought that was very interesting because the houses we've lived in the US were either like painted different colors. I remember our dining room in our house in DC was yellow. We had a green room or like wallpaper, but every room here in all the houses we've lived in are just white. It's very minimalist. I think it's quite nice, especially in the summer with all the natural light, but I definitely remember coming to the house and being like, this is so boring, why is everything white? Okay, so I did have to slightly search the house for this because this house does not really have that much of this, but previous houses did. Dad doesn't believe me, but it's true. But that the plugs here have like switches to turn them on and off, which I find very interesting because that's not really a concept we have in the US. So I have a demonstration for you that it does in fact turn on and off for the switch. But yeah, this house doesn't really have that much, but previous houses definitely did. And it's something I think is very interesting. Oh, starting to turn on. Whoa.
Ollie wants to be in every shot, guys. This is the end. You're slightly go on.
Sorry.
There we go.
Come this way. Okay.
All right, let's wrap this up, guys.
Yes. So thanks for watching. We hope you enjoyed this episode on things that we find different between our homes here in Denmark and the homes that we've had back in the U.S. And actually, fun thing, if you've been in houses in the U.S. and houses here, we'd love to hear what you think are weird things that you have found.
Or maybe also the opposite way. If there's
the
things you
opposite.
think are weird about American homes.
That's true. Weird about tubs.
I've gotten a lot
I
of-
probably think tubs are weird.
I've gotten a lot of comments about how the toilet water is very high. So
Yeah.
something of that nature.
Interesting. Yes, of course. As always, thank you guys for tuning in, and we will see you next time on Travelin' Now.
Wait, one last bonus thing. Our cat's an indoor cat.
She is
very
Yep.
She's very
That will
American.
get featured in this video.
Yes. Yeah, she's our
That's why she's so chunky.